94 Feet Nation, what's good? What's good? It's your boy Dre. I'm here with my brothers. Keith, what's going on, family?
What's good, good people?
That's what's up. Here with my brother Zeke. What's going on, Zeke?
Yeah, what's going on, man? What's up?
Nothing much, man. Listen, y'all. We are one win away. Can we just start off by saying let's just give the Bucks some love, man. Let's just give the Bucks a big time shout out, show them some love for getting it done on the road. Somebody on this call said the Bucks was lose game 5, but we'll talk about it as we dive into the show. But how you doing?
Right away? Right away? Okay, that's cool.
He slid you right under there, didn't he?
He did. And that's Dre thing. Like as long as you wrong, he will throw you underneath the bus. That's cool.
I don't need to throw you under the bus because America heard you. I'm just saying.
I will admit it. Like I said, I felt like, man. First of all, it was all bad just a week ago. So when the Bucks was down 2-0, and I was still confident in Bucks in 7, by the way, I said if we win game 3 and 4, we're going to lose game 5 because it seemed like Phoenix was really strong at home.
Anyway, brother, how you doing, man? How you doing, brother?
I was doing fine. I was doing fine until you try to throw me underneath the bus, which is cool.
I didn't throw you under the bus, man. You just letting Kesey flame your fire, bro. Don't let Kesey.
Nah. I ain't dead.
Real recognize real. It's real, brother.
Hey, man, that's all good, man. Shout out to the Bucks. Keith, how you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. How y'all doing, man?
Oh, man,
I'm so pumped right now, man. I don't even know how to even act. We got a chance to win the NBA Finals at home, man. I don't know how much pump you can get. That's crazy. Like, I don't even know how to even act, man.
Yeah. Great moment for the city. That's for sure. Great moment for lifelong Bucks fans. I've seen memes all around this weekend talking about if you was riding with the Bucks when we had Irvin Johnson. Go ahead.
I was cleaning out my garage today, man. And I came across a Bucks calendar we got for one of the games we went to when they had Luke Mabute,
the Prince,
Luke Rittenauer, who else was on there? Richard Jefferson.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Do y'all remember those calendars we got when we went to one of the games? Now that was a minute ago.
That was a while ago.
That was a minute ago. That was
Richard Jefferson ain't played at least 10 years, at least.
At least 10. And then he ain't played for the Bucks in about 15, 20.
Yeah, Jefferson ain't been out that long, man. Jefferson, did he come to us before or after his LeBron era? Do you remember?
Before.
Yeah. So
he was in Milwaukee before.
Yeah, they did. They had just won a ship in 16. But, man, if you think about it, since we did this, man, let's just talk real quick. Each of us, let's just go to 12 players, not each, just naming old Bucks players, right? Just to show folks how long we've been a part of this fandom. So just once we get 12, because there's 12 players on the team, right? 12 players.
That's too many.
That's not too many. If you're a true fan, it's easy.
Oh, it's easy for me.
It's easy for me too. So
I'm not saying
you can't name Ray Allen and Big Dog.
He can't do Ray Allen and Big Dog. That's a given. Let's just try it, man. It's okay. Let's go. I'll start. Vin Baker. Zeke.
Tim Thomas.
That's 2. Case.
Eric Murdoch.
That's 3.
Ooh.
Sherman Douglas. That's 4. Zeke.
Todd Day.
That's 5.
King. Terry Cummins.
Woo. That's 6? Dre. Irvin Johnson. 7. Zeke.
Anthony Mason.
Ooh, rest in peace. That's 8. Keith.
Ooh. Scott. What is his last name?
I know you're talking about too.
Scott Williams.
Scott Williams.
Yeah, that's 9. Dre. Frank Burkowski. Say what? That's 10.
Frank who?
Frank Burkowski, bro. A bust. That's 10. Zeke.
What's his name? Tractor Trailer.
Ooh, rest in peace, Track. That's 11.
Tractor Trailer.
Now that's a classic.
That's a classic. We gave him up for Dirk Nowitzki, but nobody knew Dirk was going to be Dirk. Number 12, sure. Keith.
Sidney Moncrief.
There we go. So we just named 12 players from Bucks. So if anyone ever tried to test our fandom, we just did it for you. We lifelongers up in here. But let's dive in, y'all. Let's review and recap games 3, 4, and 5. Obviously, the Bucks were dominant at home, one on the road, and they contained Booker and CP3 in game 3s and 4 somewhat. What are some key moments for y'all and some takeaways and things that had you a little nervous watching the game? Now, obviously, game 5 had many of us nervous in that first quarter. But let's start with game 3 and 4. Keith and I went to game 3. We were there live. And when I tell you,
all right, how many times are you going to say that? Jesus Christ.
Listen, hey,
talk about it?
Listen, I'm going to tell you.
All right, y'all was there. God,
listen, I'm going to tell you like this.
That little haterade
they put the 15-minute clock up, and the arena was pumping ever since.
Man, listen, bruh. It was so loud in there. I mean, both of you we've all been to Badger games together. Think about the Badgers jump around park, the football game, and how that stadium is shaking. The section I was sitting in, and Keith, were you in my section or were you one over?
I was one over to the right of you.
The section that I was in, they stood the whole time.
My section too.
They stood the whole time. The only time I was able to sit down was on a timeout. And so game 3.
My feet were starting to hurt, man. I was like, man, I've been standing all day.
Game 3, the fans really brought it, but the Bucks approached game 3 with urgency. The Bucks knew that they didn't have
no choice.
Yeah, the Bucks knew that they could not go down 3-0, lose at home, and try to wrap this series up on Phoenix's home court. So game 3 obviously was a big deal. Giannis came out and pretty much has solidified his place as the MVP of the NBA Finals, in my opinion. Jrue Holiday showed up. Middleton showed up. And I believe it was game 3, correct me if I'm wrong, fellas, but the Bucks held Booker to 10 points in game 3?
Yeah, that's the game. He had like 10 points. And I thought he was hurt at first, but they took him out pretty early. But that game, I don't want to say, I think it was a combination of the Bucks playing with urgency, and I also think it was because when you take your best player out, which is Devin Booker, he took him out like late 3rd, early 4th.
It was early 4th.
It was early, so it was one of the things where he just kind of like chucked it. They just kind of chucked this up to a loss. I didn't go to the game as you two, but I was on the outside in the Deer District, and it was jumping out there.
Man,
and so
it was going down.
It was jumping out there, and so it was one of the things where no matter where you was at, whether you were inside the stadium, where you were outside the stadium, and it was juking. Stephen A was in the building, and so we were yelling at him and talking crazy to him. So I think this is one of those things where it was the real basketball atmosphere that you had to love, whether you were a fan of the Bucks or Phoenix. You had to love that kind of atmosphere.
And also in game 3, Chris Paul did not.
It's fun. The funny thing about Stephen A was the day he came, it was kind of chilly. The day started off chilly.
It was.
When he came,
I had on long sleeves.
Yeah, it's cold. It's cold, y'all. Like I said, it was cold. And so that was funny. But other than that, it was just, it was just people. Like, I think that one of the things is it showed the character of people in Milwaukee. Like, it wasn't like it's all in the love of competition. It's all, we weren't like screaming obscenities. We weren't doing none of that stuff like that. We were just, talking crazy about basketball, and that's what it's all about. And so I think that game 3 is what, it showed that Milwaukee is not no scrubs, because at the end of game 2, they was talking about like we was gonna get swept. Yeah. And I think even on this podcast, we were fearing the worst because of how game 1 and 2 came out. But Game 3 was like I think Game 3 was one of those things where like, hey, we're here. And then I think Game 4 showed the endurance of this team as far as being able to take care of business, even when because that Game 4 was pivotal more game to Game 3 because Devin Booker came out on a mission. He came out early. He was shooting good. I think he had like 40 points or something like that. And it's one of those things where it's like, well, go ahead, Keith. Go ahead.
But see, I wasn't really worried when they won Game 1 and 2 because I know that
you were. Go back and listen to that podcast. No, you were.
Because
I was a tad bit worried. I'm not gonna lie. I was a tad bit.
You were.
A little bit.
I knew they was gonna come out with so much energy, knowing they had been off, and they was already, you know what I'm saying, at home. It was destined for them to come out and win.
You know, Game 3, I think the Bucks came out and did what they needed to do. A lot of sportscasters and a lot of fans don't think that home court advantage makes a difference. It does.
A big difference.
When you can play in front of your home crowd, and the Bucks this year, I got to give the Bucks fans credit. The city of Milwaukee, whether lifetime fans, whether seasonal fans, whether it's just Deer District is like Summerfest without the rides. It's like Summerfest without the rides. And the Bucks had to win on their home court. They contained Devin Booker. They contained CP3. As you can see, they started teasing the Booker and Holiday matchup a little more in Game 3. And we've seen that it has paid dividends because he has Devin Booker kind of out of his groove, Doc. So Game 3 was a great game. Bucks went on to win that game decisively, 120-100. And although that was just a 20-point win, the score is not as close as it looks. Okay, Phoenix was never in it. Phoenix was never in it.
I don't think the Bucks actually contained Devin Booker. I just think it was one of those.
I think
it was just one of those nights he was off, and the Bucks had the rhythm, and the coach knew that, so he took him out and was like, "We'll save it for Game 4." Because listen, let me tell you, Devin Booker has put up numbers in every single game outside of that one.
Oh, I told Zeke that. We talked about that. Booker is a killer, right?
But hold on. Remember when we first started the podcast, and I said that with Chris Paul, Devin Booker was going to be able to go off whenever he felt like it, because Chris Paul is able to do a part that he wasn't able to do that they were looking for him to do.
Well,
he didn't have to carry the team by himself.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's what I said at the beginning of the season. Like, Devin Booker was going to look like a bona fide superstar once he had him a point guard that took that having to be the man off of him.
Well, Devin Booker, Devin Booker, people were calling him Kobe 2.0. People were calling him like the second coming, one of the best shooters. And he is. I don't know about the second coming of Kobe, but Devin Booker, let's not act like the referees haven't bailed him out a lot of these games, okay? Devin Booker should have about 10 fouls in each game already, right? He should have been ejected because of fouls or fouled out, right?
Game 4 especially. I think that Devin Booker, a lot of times it's always funny to me because you have a lot of talented guys, but they just need a spotlight. And Devin Booker is in a small market team who just need a spotlight. Mm-hmm. And so like him performing in the bubble, him performing in these playoffs, and the fact that I think that one of the things is that where the difference between us and let's say the Clippers is that we have a defensive stopper that holds solid D. He's not just an annoyance. And Drew Holiday, being the elite defender that he is, has been able to disrupt Devin Booker. Even though he had 40, and I was watching the game, I was just like, I'm fine with Devin Booker getting his money because Phoenix is still one of those teams where you don't want Devin Booker to get going, and then you focus on him, and then you get these other guys going. Let Devin Booker score 40. Let him score 50.
I said that.
I don't want. Jump. Yeah, you said that too, Keith. Like you don't want Markel Bridges to have a career night on us, or Cameron Payne to have 30.
He's been pretty much non-existent.
But thinking about it, when he had that career night, how did they look?
They looked like a team where, I think that's the game they had the 19 threes where they was just hitting. But
even look at the comeback from last game, right? When they started letting him get off, that team looked it better and started playing better. If you looked at it.
Because they opened it up for everybody.
Yes, because you can't let them type of players get off and think you're going to beat them. The Bucks got away with it, but they almost let him get in the rhythm again and beat us. Because he beat us in game 2, I think it was.
Yeah, so fast forward to game 4. Fast forward to game 4, it was a win, but the Bucks almost lost. That was only a 4-point win. Devin Booker showed up and showed out. He had 42 points. He had a career night, not a career night, but his shooting percentage was extremely high. He was near perfect from the free throw line, and he was the only one from Phoenix that showed up. The second leading scorer in game 4 was Jay Crowder, and that was only 15 points. Chris Paul only scored 10, so he carried his team, but Chris Middleton came out and played hard for the Bucks in game 4. Middleton was money. He shot 87% from the free throw line. He put up, he had 8 3-point attempts. And here's the thing about Middleton in that game. 3-point wise, the Bucks still have not shot great this year from the 3-point. They have not shot great.
Game 4 was the best game.
Game 5 was.
Game 5 was. Chris Middleton was 3 for 8 from the 3-point line in game 4, but he still dropped 40 points. Holiday only had 13. And so we had the players on the Bucks. What I like about the Milwaukee Big Three, if we can call them that, what I like about Giannis, what I like about Holiday, what I like about Middleton playing together, guys, is that when one is off, the other can turn it on and almost carry the team. But what we need from these Milwaukee Bucks in order to stay competitive and to close out and win this championship on Tuesday, we need for all 3 of our big 3 to show up and show out. We need all of our big 3 to show up and show out when it comes to this next game. So again, game 4 was a little different. Obviously, the Bucks played Holiday, or Middleton was the top guy for the team. Booker came and he did what Big Book did, but we need all 3 of our players to do what they did in game 5. Okay, so let's talk about.
I don't think. I was just gonna say. I don't think it's need to show up, show out. I just think we need solid performances from all 3. I think that when you say show up and show out, you mean like when I hear that, I think 40 points from Middleton, 40 points from Holiday, and another 40 from Giannis. But I don't think that needs to be the case. I think if Middleton can get 30, if Drew can get if Drew can get 21 and 10, if Giannis can get 35 and 10 and 7,
we don't even need to worry about numbers for the Bucks right now. What the Bucks need to do is have a mentality: we're down 1, not we're up 1. They need to come in this game with a mentality that we're down 1, we gotta fight. We gotta fight, and we gotta win this, because if they go back to Phoenix, we might not win in Phoenix.
Not a game 7. Game 7 is going to be tough. I still got the Bucks in 7, but you don't want Phoenix to have the momentum of beating you on your home court in the championship night and having to go try to beat them on their home court. Because let's not.
Well, I'll say this.
Go ahead.
This. I was just going to say what I say about the Bucks is, and that's why I said they was going to lose Game 5 before, if history has taught us nothing about the Milwaukee Bucks, is that they like to make stuff hard. And so when we were supposed to end Atlanta in 5, when we were supposed to end Atlanta in, like, you see, they got to a game 6 with Atlanta, but it did. So if history has taught me nothing, is that Milwaukee Bucks like to make things hard. I don't like the chances of us losing at home are very slim. I don't want to say slim. It's a small percentage that we'll lose at home.
The championship is on the line, so I don't know that we can say that, but I get it.
No, I'm saying like lose at home and go to game 7. It's a small chance that we'll lose at home, but it's still a chance.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those things where you have to go. I think game 6 is one of those kind of like the mentality Kesey just said, like you're not like you up 1, but you down 1. But I just think if we hold solid defense and our guys are shooting how we're supposed to be shooting, we'll be good to go.
You know, game 5 had, to me, one of the greatest. First of all, let's just talk about how hyped the game was. When game 5 started, Keith, how did you feel in that first quarter? I thought it was over. I watched that first quarter in disgust. Like, are you kidding me?
The
Bucks.
Listen,
game 5. I was so disgusted watching that game, listening to it on the radio, rather, because I was coming from my uncle's home. And I was like, wait, what? They're up by 16? Jay Crowder got what? How many threes in the first quarter? I was not prepared for that first quarter. That first quarter, I thought we were done.
All I was thinking was, anybody but Jay Crowder can beat us. Anybody. I would rather see anybody beat us than Jay Crowder. Because one thing I can't stand about Jay Crowder is because when he was with LeBron and them in Cleveland, you couldn't pay that job turkey to hit a bucket. Now this nigga act like he want to hit every bucket he put up.
Listen, man, Jay Crowder.
What is up with Jay Crowder and you, Kesey? Is it them Cleveland days? It's them Cleveland days, ain't it?
I don't like his attitude, man.
Yeah,
he walk around like he big, like he the big dog, and he ain't the big dog.
He 3-and-D. He a 3-and-D guy. He like to talk crazy.
But he ain't got no rings, and he ain't got nothing to stand behind what he's done. I mean, he's not a bad player. Don't let me knock him in that way. But I'm saying the way he walks around, you would think he got a couple rings behind his belt.
So let me tell you something. What game 5 and what this series has taught me. I'm no longer a Chris Paul fan. I see why people don't like him. Devin Booker is a crybaby.
Cryberry, okay.
Crybaby.
Right.
Jay Crowder is almost becoming like Marcus Smart with the flopping, where he's getting out of hand. These Phoenix Suns are a mess, and we saw that in game 5. But what I'll say about game 5, and I was talking to Zeke before the podcast started as we waited on Kesey. But anyway,
mind your business. Mind your business. Just mind your business.
So anyway, as we were talking about this, for me, and obviously I'm biased as a Bucks fan, Game 5 was one of the most exciting finals games, in my opinion, probably in the last 10 years. And the sequence between Holiday, Booker, and Giannis is arguably top 10 in finals history. I'm talking about the steal that Holiday, he just bullied Booker. Give me the ball. The lob, the dunk, and the foul solidified the game, changed the momentum, and I believe shook Phoenix as to going down 3-2.
I was so hyped about the steal and the dunk, I didn't realize he got fouled. Because
and if you go back and look at it, he that should have been almost a freaking foul because he really tried to push him out the air.
He should have got ejected. That's what I told Zeke.
He tried to push him out the air.
That's what I told Zeke. You even in a fouling mode, before Zeke jumps in, and I told Zeke, even in a fouling in the air, you cannot have unnecessary contact. And that was unnecessary.
He had two hands in
the air. Chris Paul shouldn't be playing in Game 6. Go ahead.
I know why Chris Paul did it, and like I told Dre, because he had to foul him, and he had to foul somebody with the ball because he was gonna foul Drew, but he's seen Giannis coming. But like I also told Dre, I don't think the way the NBA does things now, and they should have looked at it. I think they did look at it when I watched the game. So I'm not surprised they looked at it. But like I told Dre, it was a basketball play. I don't think it was like intentional trying to like knock him out of the air. I know that Giannis got away with one when he fouled Devin Booker. So I wasn't really like tripping because I know he got away with one. Because and so it is what it is.
It technically wasn't no foul on Giannis because they had blown the whistle a long time ago. But Devin Booker was still trying to get that dunk in to get the crowd pumped. That's what he was doing.
I know.
And if I was Giannis, I would have fouled him the same way too.
He almost ended. You talking about Chris Paul pushing Giannis? He almost ended Devin Booker. Devin Booker.
No, Giannis was a slap.
Okay. That wasn't no slap. I was like, ooh.
Chris Paul put two hands up. Giannis did one hand. Two hands. I mean, one hand. Okay, I get it. You trying to stop the play, but when you do two hands, that means you trying to hurt him. You trying to make sure he don't get nowhere near the basket.
Yeah. You know,
it was a nice little play right in front of LeBron Brian. So it was one of the things where like, I'm glad it happened. It happened the way it did.
Yeah, no, for real.
LeBron James at the game looking like new money. Did you see him?
That's why they lost, because Chris Paul. That's why they lost, because Chris Paul tried to put on the show. And I'm gonna also say this, but I don't want people to say, "Oh, well, the Bucks won." But Chris Paul looks like he's playing a little hurt. He doesn't seem like himself. He seems like he's a little sluggish. Hold on.
I don't want to hear this after that. I don't want to hear this after this.
Because that's what they're going to use as an excuse. His wrist.
Yeah.
They've already used an excuse. We've used we lost to Brooklyn.
But he played.
It is what it is.
He played well. See, what y'all didn't realize what the Bucks did was he played well.
Yeah, a double-double.
He played well the first two games because the Bucks didn't have Drew Holiday guarding him. But when the Bucks switched it up and they put Drew Holiday on him and let PJ Tucker take Devin Booker, it changed up the game. He ain't able to do
a good matchup.
Drew
Holiday Tucker had three. I'm talking about Tucker on Booker. PJ Tucker had 3 fouls in like the first quarter, bro.
Let me tell you like this.
And that's cool.
PJ Tucker is doing the best job you can do on somebody of Devin Booker's caliber. That's what you got to realize. Devin Booker is a killer. You forget how many,
also.
You forget he had that what was it, 81 points?
Yeah. He did have 81 points, didn't he?
Did y'all forget that?
I didn't forget. I did forget about that. That was like last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, Devin Booker is a solid. He's a solid shooting guard that can actually put up numbers regardless of what rosters he's on.
Also that you talk about adjustments. The Bucks have been making some not offensively, defensive adjustments. And this is why I think that's when the whole series started to turn around. They started to take care of this pick and roll situation. Bobby and Lopez, they started to kind of like do better with the pick and roll. That's what killed us in game 1. They kind of killed us in game 2. But it's one thing about this series is the Bucks are getting better with every single game.
They are.
And
I'll give you that.
Right when like last game 5, me and Dre was talking. He was like, "Man, they're looking real bad." I was like, "Hey, all we need is a good game from Drew Holiday." And sure as shit, Drew Holiday started hitting. He started playing defense.
Right after you said it.
Yeah, and then he started, and it's interesting because he'll pick up Chris Paul. Chris Paul goes out. He'll pick up Devin Booker. So he's holding whoever hot. Oh, I'm holding you. Are you hot? All right, cool. I'm locking you up. And so with Tucker is just a fill-in guy. And so I'm not, even though Devin Booker was killing him, it's only so much you can do with Devin Booker. And I also was like, Devin Booker, even though Devin Booker was score like 40 or something like that, it was all inside the perimeter. Like he get into his jump shot spot. But don't get it twisted. He did participate in the 3-point contest, and he can rain it down from there.
Anywhere. He can shoot from anywhere. He is
making... if y'all notice, the biggest adjustment to me, I don't know about y'all, that I saw the Bucks make was they stopped switching on the screens all the time.
Yeah,
and they started fighting through the screens. When you see PJ Tucker fighting through them screens, that's what's making the Bucks better, because now all you're doing is you making Devin Booker play one-on-one basketball, and he can't make anybody else better.
No,
Paul can't make anybody else better. You can beat teams like that are offensively talented. That's how we were able to beat Brooklyn, because they let KD beat them. They didn't let KD help the other people beat them in the game.
Exactly. And then especially when you got like two guys like Devin Booker, like CP3, who can pass the ball also. Because I think game 2 he had like 30 something and 11 assists, and that 11 assists has killed us more than his 40. Like his 40 is whatever, but when that 11 assists come in, and then I will also say this: I think the Bucks shot like 50% from 3-point range in game 5. So like Pat was hitting. I can't think of his last name.
Connaughton.
Yeah.
He got the most threes in finals history or something going on right now.
Do he? Okay, because he had like 3 or 4 of them game 5. So I'm like, okay, he hit.
Yeah, he was 4 for 6.
Yeah, so the team altogether was shooting good. And the Bucks are one of those teams, when we shooting this good, we real hard to beat. Hard to beat.
From the 3-point line in game 5, Tucker was 1 for 1. Giannis 0 for 1. Brook 1 for 2. And we still haven't had a big game out of Brook. If Brook can come in game 6 and give us a big game on top of our other big 3, it's over. We can win the championship on Tuesday night. Middleton was 3 for 8. Holiday was 3 for 6. And Portis was 2 for 4. So the shooting, the Bucks shot 50% from the line, which is not terrible, from the 3-point line, which is not terrible.
That's great. That's outstanding.
And if the Bucks can keep that shooting clinic like they did in game 5, game 6 could be when we all are celebrating on Water Street or 6th Street or outside of Five Star Forum. Our first championship in 50 years could come in game 6. So as we talk about game 6, Bucks are 1 win away from the NBA championship. What needs to happen in game 6 to ensure we win the title on our home court? If you're the Suns, what do you need to do to beat Milwaukee at home?
First off, the Suns, in order to beat Milwaukee, they got to take the crowd out the game. If they want to beat the Bucks, they got to take the crowd out the game. And that starts out by going on a good run to start the game and not letting the Bucks get dunks, layups. Because once you start letting the Bucks get dunks and layups, you might as well count that game over with. Because once the crowd is behind us, the Bucks start pouring it on.
You know, even Stephen A. Smith gave us credit on that. He gave us props.
He did.
And everybody's talking about how the fans in Milwaukee are like dogs. They said, Stephen A. Go ahead, Zeke. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say the same thing. I was just listening really, but Stephen A. gave it to us. I think that was the whole point is to have the kind of atmosphere like it was in Toronto back in 2018, when they were on the verge of winning the championship, because as much as we're a still small market team, our fans are very passionate about this team, about this city. And so people who come from the outside looking in, like Stephen A., it kind of changes their perspective on things. I think that once, but to go back to your question, what can the Phoenix Suns do? I'll start there, like Kesey did. I think that Phoenix has to maintain their they have to maintain their high start, because each one of these games, the Bucks have started off slow. They kind of slow, kind of steady. But with Phoenix, they're starting to get into that watch Devin Booker score, and that's it. They're not moving the ball. They're not doing the things that they were doing in game 1 and game 2. I think that also has something to do with the Bucks, though, with the way they've been. They changed the defensive scheme around. And so having their best defensive player, which is Jrue Holiday, either on CP3 or starting the game off on Booker and kind of letting one of those guys do their thing and not letting everybody else get off. Because, I do know that once, and, even if CP3 is hurt, which I hate the fact that he'll probably say that at the end of this, I was playing with a sprained ankle the whole, I'm like, dude, I don't want to hear that shit. But Devin Booker is one of the things like, if we're going to win this, we're going to have to let Devin Booker do his thing and shut everybody else down.
Yeah.
And I think we've been doing a good job of that.
Yeah. I think that for the Bucks, and I'm going to borrow a phrase from my brother Kesey, the Bucks have to come out and put their foot on their neck and not let up.
Right away.
Let up. No stupid fouls. I mean, you got to also find a way to get Brook Lopez involved. The Bucks need to run the pick and roll through him. He got Ayton looking like a superstar, like a Hall of Famer this series. You know what I mean? And
I won't say superstar. He's an all-star. He's a really good player. He's soft, but he's still a good player.
And Giannis has to come out focused like he is. Holiday has to have a great shooting night. He can't have a good one. He has to have a great one like he did game 5. And we need our stars to show up, and we need to make sure that the home crowd stays in it, stay the whole game, cheer the team on. But more importantly, Coach Bud has to make adjustments early. Okay, the Bucks have to approach this game like win or go home. Win or go home. This is a must-win situation. You cannot bank on a Game 7 opportunity. Obviously, you want to play, but the Milwaukee Bucks do not want to see Phoenix in Game 7 on their home court if they need to go back, because that is a whole momentum shift. That is a whole momentum shift. You have a chance to close it out at home in Game 6. Get it done in Game 6. Go ahead, Keith.
I totally agree 100%. Everything you just said. Like, you got to come out and put your foot in their neck right away. Let them know Milwaukee is taking this tonight. Because if you give them any momentum going home, we are barbecue chicken, as Shaq would say, man. I'm telling you right now. People think it's a joke, but
okay.
If the Bucks come out and they give them the momentum, we are barbecue chicken.
Keith, let me ask you a question though. Do you think the Bucks? Let's say the Bucks lose Game 6. Do you think we can pull off a Game 7?
I would hope we could, but it's a lower chance of us winning. I mean,
yes
losing.
Or no?
Than winning.
Yes or no? Yes or no?
Oh, you don't get to dancing around because that's what he just did.
I know he did. That's why I said it.
He tap dance.
He just two-stepped it.
I'll go.
He just two-stepped it.
The Bucks don't win at home. We lose in Phoenix.
Are you serious?
So now you don't have the Bucks in 7 anymore.
It's just, I just can't see us going there and winning another one there. We got the one that we needed. Now we got to take care of business, man.
Yeah.
Got to win at home.
Got to win at home. The Bucks have one of the most toughest. To win in Milwaukee is one of the toughest things to do in the NBA because the fan base, and then to just play better. I'm going to answer your question. I have the Bucks winning this series in 7, but they need to do it in 6. In order for the Bucks to win a Game 7, if necessary, they're going to have to play perfect.
So, number one, I don't think that's not going to happen. But to answer my question, Dre, I'm going to ask this again. If they lose Game 6, do you think they can win Game 7? Kesey said no. What do you say?
I say yes. I say yes because what tends to happen is teams trade games. So we'll win 2 on our court. We'll win 2. They'll win 2 on theirs. We'll win 2. We'll win 1. They'll win 1. It tends to go back and forth a bit. So it depends on if Phoenix comes out on Tuesday and put their foot on the Bucks' neck. There's no way that 2 games in a row that Phoenix will just destroy the Bucks because even the 2 they won in Phoenix weren't complete blowouts. They weren't just bad games. They were just simple mistakes. A lot of missed free throws, right? a lot of just some simple mistakes. But Phoenix comes and wins game 6 and they dominate, they're not going to dominate us 2 games in a row. I just don't believe that. So I believe the Bucks can get it done in game 7, but I don't want them to. Don't get it twisted. I am not advocating for a game 7. The Bucks need to end this game on July the 22nd and become the NBA champions of the season. Let's get that Christmas Day home game, baby.
I agree with you. I think that the Bucks, if we were to lose game 6, I think that would be like the wake up call, because I can see it still coming in. I can see us coming into game 6 a little sluggish. And with that being said, game 7, that would be like the slap in the face, a little, water in the face to kind of wake you up. And then now we got to go hard. Like I said before, if history has taught us nothing about the Bucks, it's taught us they like to make stuff difficult. So I could see us winning the game 7, because like you said, Dre, I don't think that they'll win 2 in a row on us. Especially when we know what to do to win. I just asked that question because if they did win, if we won game 6, that'd be 4 in a row, like Kesey predicted. Like Kesey, when he first said something, I was like, Kesey, you saying 4 in a row? He said, yeah, 4 in a row. And I was like,
changed it though. Then he changed it.
No, I did.
You changed it.
You changed it.
Y'all kept telling me 7, but I said
because I said I was like, Kesey, you saying 4 in a row?
You kept saying it over and over.
Don't say me. He said that.
I did say that because I thought they was gonna lose game 5.
But I told you, once the Bucks got that momentum in the first 2 games, like they did the rest of the series, Phoenix is done, man.
That's what like for us to win 4 straight, even if they won the first 2 games. It's a light-hearted gentleman's sweep. Yeah. And it's one of those things where, like you said before, he's like, that's even crazier besides the whole, Bucks and 6. Like if it was one of those things like, hey, Bucks and 6, we won 1 in Phoenix, they won 1 in Milwaukee, blah, blah, blah. But for us to win game 5 and then possibly win game 6, I was telling somebody else, this is what, like, dreams don't come true. And this is the dream scenario. You in Milwaukee, you up 3-2, momentum is all your way. Whether Chris Paul is hurt or not, who gives a fuck? This is what sports miracles are about. Like, this is the stuff you tell your kids about. Yeah, we thought we was out of it, but we pulled out 4 straight, and then we did like, this is what you tell your grandkids about.
Listen. You are most definitely right. This is how you write the history books. This is how you set the tone for next year of having, bringing in some new players, because we got some players who are going to be out of contract. Okay, come on in. This is what you're gonna have to do. You know what I'm saying? We got the recipe.
Yeah, and have that championship mentality following to next season, because our big 3, like, even though we can't sign nobody else to a max contract, we have our big 3, and we just need to surround them with solid bench players and solid role players that start.
Yeah, because all rumors are saying that PJ Tuckers and Portis will lose. So, we do need to, but we'll probably discuss that next week.
Yeah.
So let me ask you all this as we go on in our show. MVP, because by this time next week, we'll be talking about the champs. So who is the MVP, whether it's the Bucks or the Suns? Who is the MVP of the finals? Keith.
Bucks win, I'm going with Giannis. Phoenix win, I'm going with Devin Booker.
Okay. Zeke.
Do you want to know why, or are you just going to skip over that?
Well, let's just hear what.
I think with Giannis, we all know why.
Why do you think why?
Because
hold up, Zeke. Hold up. What? Let him give his why. Give your why.
No, go ahead, Zeke.
No, give your why. Give your why. Give your one before I make up some buttons.
I'm gonna give one. You know what?
Man, this producer get out of hand.
I'm not going there with you today. I'm not. The Bucks won. I had a good weekend. I ain't finna go with you today.
Go ahead, bro. You're not finna go there with me, but go ahead.
Look, he's still going. But anyway, Zeke. So,
really?
Go ahead, Easy.
The Bucks. Listen, if the Bucks win, I'm saying Giannis because that block changed the series.
And we're going to talk about that coming up next. We're going to talk about that next. He had two huge blocks.
Two of them.
We're going to talk about the block next.
But the one on Ayton, changed the game.
Saved the game.
And it gave the momentum going into the next game. And that's why we're in the situation we're in right now.
Okay. Go ahead, Zeke.
Who's
the MVP?
To be honest with you, when I think about MVP and like a closing game, so let's say, for instance, what's his name, Middleton. Let's say Chris Middleton has another 40 point game. I'll if he gets MVP, I wouldn't be mad at it. Even though Giannis is the guy who has been showing up for us every single game, no matter what, I think that if Chris Middleton gets another 40 points on Game 6, I think I would be satisfied with him getting Finals MVP. Just because even though Giannis is consistently scoring the points that he's scoring, we wouldn't be in this position without Middleton. And this would be like if he does that in Game 6, it'll be his second game where he has literally taken over.
I agree.
So, but as far as Phoenix goes, I think you have to give it to Devin Booker just because he's the only guy. He'll be the reason why they're in the position that they're in if they win both those games.
Yeah,
he would be the reason.
Yeah,
it wouldn't be Chris Paul. It would be him.
Yeah. Last week I said it would be a co-MVP because we made a decision based off 2 games. But clearly for the Bucks, it's Giannis. Although an argument for Chris Middleton could be made because Chris Middleton has hit some big shots. He had a 40-point game, but it's clearly Giannis. And for Phoenix, it would definitely be Devin Booker. Devin Booker has balled out. He's had one bad game. And he can't miss. Whenever the ball in his hand, I get fake nervous. Like somebody stop him. Somebody put a hand in his face. Somebody put Holiday on him so he can get the ball.
That's because they let him get in the rhythm. And I told you, if he get in the rhythm, he's a problem.
He's a big problem. So that's who we have as our MVPs. Nevertheless, Game 6 is on Tuesday, July 22nd. Tip off at 8 p.m. in the Fiserv Forum. Hopefully, that will be the last game of the NBA season. And when we record next week, we will be celebrating as NBA champions. If not, Game 7 is Thursday the 22nd. Game 7, if necessary, 8 p.m. in Phoenix. Game 6.
I will be down in the district both those games.
But just to piggyback off of Zeke, I agree. If Middleton does win, though, I am not going to be upset. I promise you that.
Yeah.
Zeke didn't say that. I said that. Oh, but
he said it first. He said it first.
You said it first. You're upset about.
Anyway, Zeke. So
anyways, KC.
No, I'm just kidding. I agree with you both. Middleton, if he wins, I wouldn't be upset about it. But it's like we know they're going to give it to Giannis.
But listen, I got a quick question for y'all.
What?
Do you consider Middleton probably one of the best in the clutch situations?
He's too inconsistent for me for that.
But just think about the clutch situations he's been in.
In a clutch
in finals history, how many players have actually been as clutch as he's been for us for their teams?
Oh, Middleton. The thing about Middleton, all of his inconsistencies can make us very angry. But when you need him to come through in the clutch, Middleton comes through in the clutch. We just need consistent clutch. And maybe that's too much to ask for. Maybe that's too much.
Not.
I don't think it is either, but Middleton is clutch. Not saying I would pick him over a lot of different players as clutch, but Middleton has come in through the clutch for the Bucks, but multiple times.
If it comes down to it, Kesey, he's taking the last shot.
But
he should.
We're just thinking about this finals. and his clutch baskets that he have. Do you take Middleton over some of the other players that have taken these clutch shots in the playoffs? Because Middleton,
hold on a second. Are you talking about in history? Are you talking about in history?
Just think about the history. Think about some of the history of some of the biggest shots taken.
Okay,
like the Robert Horrys.
Okay, let's do this. Robert Horry or Middleton? Keith.
Robert Horry.
Middleton.
Robert Horry.
Ray Allen or Middleton? Keith.
Ray Allen.
Ray Allen. Easy. LeBron or Chris Middleton?
Middleton.
Steph Curry or Chris Middleton?
Listen, I'm a LeBron fan, but clutch, Middleton, man, he's hitting some daggers, dude. You look at the daggers he's hitting some daggers.
But here's the thing about Middleton, though. Like Dre just said, he's inconsistent, but he's a flow guy. So if he's flowing and he's hitting, he's cash money from there. He's cash money. But if he's off, even though I'm cool with Chris Middleton always taking a shot just because he's a shooter. And the chances of a shooter making it are more likely to happen than it is like with Giannis or Drew. Drew can hit the shot, but he's not a shooter. So when you talk about as far as like clutch goes, let's say tomorrow, well, not tomorrow, let's say Tuesday, it comes down to a 2-point or a 3-pointer. I want Chris Middleton to shoot that shot.
Brother, he's the best shooter on our team.
Yeah, whether he had an off game or not. Like I can go home like, okay, we going to game 7. He missed that shot. That's cool. All right, whatever. But I kind of, as much as I want, like game 6, I got a question for both of y'all. Do you want game 6 to be a blowout, or do you want to be somewhat of how it was with game 5?
Blowout.
I want them to put their foot in Phoenix's neck for all the haters that said Phoenix was gonna sweep them. Yeah. Phoenix was the better team. Phoenix was this. Phoenix was that. I want a point for every negative thing they said bad.
Don't play with it. Don't play with it.
While y'all was at game 3 with those legends, one of those legends, I'm not going, you know what? Fuck it, I'll say his name. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar said Milwaukee wasn't a championship team. Yeah, he can fuck off too.
He said what?
He said the Milwaukee Bucks won it. He said we won a championship team.
He did.
And he said this when we played Brooklyn. So I'm like, yeah, you can fuck off, Kareem. So it's one of them things where,
whoa, man,
like you said,
kind of harsh.
Like
you are so.
Because
did you have Brooklyn going to the finals?
I did.
Thank you. That man
I did.
Man did.
So you said that to Andre too then. So you said that to Andre too then, right?
No, he ain't saying it to me because
Andre said Andre ain't a real fan. Andre ain't a real fan. I don't care how many Bucks games he goes to.
You gotta say it. But you gotta think Kareem ain't really a Bucks fan like that either. Kareem played for us, but he really wanted to get out of here. That's why he went to LA.
So what I've just done, ladies and gentlemen, I've just taken over this podcast. And let me interrupt all the haterade that's just going on right now. Talking about
listen.
We all
love.
Listen here. Let me tell y'all something here. Listen to me,
man. Nothing like that. No home training, man. No home training. This is what people 94 feet. This is what no home training looks like at its finest.
No home training is gonna be our brother Zeke chocolate wasted down on State Street. But anyway,
he better not call me. I tell you that.
Kareem better not call me. The thing that I think, and obviously Isaiah is semi-joking, the thing that I think most of Sports America forgets, you can have an objective opinion on your team. If Brooklyn were fully loaded, many people would have picked them to beat the Bucks.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda. They not.
Anyway, I got the Bucks beating Phoenix, so shut up. So
now you do. Now you do.
That's the only thing I hate about some people is they be like that shoulda, coulda, woulda. If the Brooklyn Nets would have had this, and they would have had Kyrie, and they would have had a healthy Harden.
If they would have,
that wasn't guaranteeing him to beat the Bucks. Who knows? The Bucks would have played better.
But the thing is, it's being said on both sides though. Just like the Bucks slander is coming, the Phoenix slander is coming. Okay, well they didn't play nobody. They didn't play LeBron. They didn't play Kawhi. You know, they beat the Clippers. You know what I'm saying? So it's coming. So both of these teams that are here, first of all, they earned their spots. Let's just stop. They earned it. Secondly, that's the NBA. Things happen. People get injured. Players don't play.
What I'm saying is because Kesey started off with forget the haters talking all that crazy like that. And I was like, I just felt like for somebody who got this city their first championship, and you get celebrated you get celebrated every year. You get celebrated when
he left us hanging too. Remember that he left us hanging. So I don't.
Why you think I said what I just said?
We still celebrate this man. So for him to sit there and say Milwaukee Bucks aren't a championship team, I just feel like that was a slap in the face. Just like people felt like Stephen A. slapped Milwaukee in the face. He's not from Milwaukee. He didn't live in Milwaukee. He from New York. So that's his opinion. But for Kareem to have this legend to be in our city and to have brought us a championship, if you to sit there and be like, well, they're really not a championship team, saying that shit for somebody else. We up in this thing, and if we ask you to come back, guess what? You're gonna be up in this thing too.
Oh, he was there. He was there.
Yeah, he was there. So
that's game 3, game 4.
He even got a commercial because he was talking about when he was drafted. They had a thing where it was either Phoenix or Milwaukee, and they flipped the coin to see who was gonna get him.
How he on his commercial he says, "Why did I ever leave this place?" You know why you left. But anyway, moving on. The blocks. Giannis had a monster block during the series of Game 4. During Game 4, the block is getting comparison to LeBron's block on Iggy during Game 7 of the 2016 NBA Finals. Which block was most impactful for the team, and which one was better? I don't know why as basketball fans everything has to be better. I don't know why.
We can't judge it yet because the series isn't over. We all know that series, Cleveland won. So
we're judging the play, though. We're judging the play.
But you have to remember that play caused LeBron and them to win that series. We don't know if this play
going to call Kyrie's three-pointer had something to do with it.
Oh my gosh,
here you go.
It changed the momentum. It changed the momentum. It changed the momentum.
I tell you about you niggas, man. Now you got me over here saying things I shouldn't say on here. These niggas.
Wait, so Kyrie's three-pointer didn't...
It didn't say it won the game. It said it changed. We talking about the momentum of the series.
Get out your body, man. We know it's LeBron. Shut up.
I'm not even going there with you, man. What are you talking about?
You didn't drop the M-bomb. I already had to mute you.
I said it again, nigga. Nigga. All right, come on, y'all, for real.
Now, see? Now, Dre, you talking about me? Dre, you talking about me?
I don't have the buzzer in front of me, but it's okay. So, no, seriously, though.
No.
Hold up, Zeke. I'm sorry. Hold up.
Go ahead.
Because Zeke, Kesey was like, you can't compare the two. That's basketball 24/7, bro.
I said yet.
Why
he
not?
Said yet.
I said until the series over so you can determine is that block what changed the series and made the Bucks win? Or was it just another block? A great block in the playoffs that didn't change the momentum and made them win a championship. Because LeBron and them won a championship after that block, right?
Yeah. Same game.
I think same game. Was it the same game?
Same game. It was the Iggy block, and then it was the Kyrie 3, and then it was the LeBron 2 foul shots.
He want to keep throwing in that Kyrie 3.
I know Kyrie. You do.
And the horse he rode in on.
So I think that
go ahead, Zeke. Go ahead, bro.
So I think that that block. The question is, which one was better?
Which one was better, and which one was most impactful?
Well, impactful is probably the LeBron one, just because they won a championship of it. Now, I agree with Kesey on that aspect where you can't really judge it because they won a championship after that and it changed momentum in the game. I think that with Giannis block, it was just an incredible play. I think that his play, was that the next game or the game? Was that game 4? I think it was game 4. Game 4, when he did that alley-oop block, he's the only person in the league right now I'm saying the NBA, past or present, that could have made that kind of play. So that was more an impressive block than a rundown, just because LeBron James was. When you really you know what? Now that I think about it, to be honest with you, I think it was LeBron's. Because Iggy not only had him beat, I think he double clutched it. I think he kind of double clutched it and tried to lay it up. And LeBron was on top of him to the point where he had no choice but to block it. But that's why I'm saying that alley-oop was more impressive to me than the first one, because nobody in the NBA could have made that play.
I don't think it's another soul that could have made that block. Because just think about it.
With the alley-oop?
The alley-oop. Just think about it. He came off a pick and roll. He was able to pivot and turn around and still jump higher than Ayton, a 7-footer,
exactly,
and block it.
And then on top of that, he had eyes. When he explained the play back, he said, I didn't think I was going to make it, because he was committed to Booker going to the basket. Mm-hmm. And because he was committed to Booker, and for him to turn around and make that play, it had to do with athletic ability, but the length that Giannis is, that's why he was able to make that play. And that's why nobody in the league, I want to say past or present, that could have made that play. Because even with LeBron, he is, he's strong, he's fast, but he's not that long. Like, he had to have a 7-foot wingspan, like a 7'6" wingspan. So I think that one is the more impressive one. Well, they'll be talking about that in history books for at least next 10 years.
Oh, Giannis is too, though. I mean, Giannis,
I'm saying Giannis, that's what I'm talking about, the Giannis block. They're talking about for the next 10 years.
Yeah. Giannis blocked a 7'1" guy. Okay. LeBron's block was amazing. It was game-changing, and it did win the series, in my opinion. All right? It did, along with the 3. But Iggy was 6'6". Okay.
It's
LeBron
true.
should have blocked that, right? Giannis blocked a 7'1" guy, and he stopped, to your point, what could have been a poster. And then Giannis stopped it. So I think both blocks were great. I think if Ayton makes that dunk, Bucks could have potentially lost that game.
But my question to y'all is,
how
do you think that block affected Ayton, though? Knowing that he turned around and blocked his shot like that. How do you think that?
Oh, he was out of it. You could see the look on his face. He didn't even, after that play, he didn't even start running until a couple minutes after. He was
I just wanted to see was I tripping or not, but it looked like it took the soul out of him.
Oh, it took the soul out of the team. Well, because they're like, dude, listen, I'm going to say this about Giannis. And I was a little hard on him earlier with basketball IQ, and I still stand by my assessment of that. I still stand by some of my assessment of his IQ.
Whatever.
But Giannis, if he had a jump shot, Giannis, bruh.
Oh, yeah.
If he had a jump shot,
we all know that.
In KD comparison. If he had a jump shot.
He was.
He's
he
long
was when
too.
he first got drafted. When he first got drafted.
But
the thing about Giannis is that makes him so unique, and I think we're seeing it here in this series, is that Giannis has no give up. And I think that's what makes Giannis special.
And he's super humble too.
He's super humble. He's not a selfish basketball player. So he is.
So what do y'all think about the comment from Shaq, though?
What did he say?
What is Shaq?
He's saying he's giving Giannis the new Superman tag.
We don't want it.
I'll take that. I'll take it.
Because the reason he's saying he's giving it to him is because there's nobody in history that dominates the paint since Shaq.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Giannis dominates the paint completely. Just think about all his buckets and how good the team is when he's doing what he's supposed to do in the paint.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's great.
Low key, he's killing Ayton. Low key, he's killing Ayton. His whole series, he's been killing Ayton.
But you can't tell by Ayton's stats, though, because Ayton is
That's very true.
Is a double right now.
But he's getting those Andre Drummond numbers.
Yeah.
Where he's getting like 10 points, he's getting like 18 points, 10 rebounds, 13 rebounds. And I'm like, you 7-2. You should get those.
You're supposed to.
You're supposed to get those.
Yeah. So both blocks will go down in history probably as the top 1 and 2 blocks in the history of the finals because they both were game changers. I don't really think we can really judge which one was better. To Kesey's point, LeBron went and won the championship. All the stats that are happening now, everything that's going on now, that none of this matters if the Bucks don't win the championship. None of this matters. And
you know what? That's very true.
None of it matters. Like, oh, Giannis had this and Middleton had 40, but we lost. So the Bucks, let's go out here. Let's win the championship. And then let's talk about putting plays and performances in ranking order, which we'll probably do next week in our season finale episode next week. So again, the Bucks are here. The Suns are here. When we started this podcast, none of us probably would have imagined the Bucks being in the NBA Finals.
You didn't because you're not a real fan.
You didn't predict it until we got like halfway into the season. Shut up.
What did I say about the Bucks?
You said Bucks and Suns. You said Bucks and Suns, but that was halfway through the season.
You said Brooklyn Lakers. Get in the playoffs.
I know what I said.
Okay, I said Bucks Phoenix from the beginning. I said it from the beginning.
That's okay.
What?
I said Bucks Lakers, but I guess I made a mistake on the one hand.
Right. I'm just saying, like, bruh, it's okay. It's okay that you were right. We know.
Thank you.
But at the end of the day, right now, we all have the Bucks winning the championship. And hopefully, hopefully, when we come back together next week, it'll be a celebratory podcast.
I'll be down here.
Versus a Dear
District down here.
Versus a disappointing podcast. So this has been another great episode of the 94 Feet Podcast. I'd like to thank my brother Zeke.
What up?
I'd like to thank my brother Keith. Think you went on mute, bro? I'd like to thank my brother Keith.
Thank you, 94 Feet people.
That's
a pleasure to be here again.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Check us out on Spreakers, iHeartRadio, Amazon, now on Amazon Podcast. Check us out on Apple, Spotify. Like us, comment, share. Check us out on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at 94 Feet Podcast. That's 94FT Podcast. Like, subscribe, share widely. We'll see you next week with we hope to be the championship episode of our season finale of the 94 Feet Podcast. Be well.
Peace.
Peace.